Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 2 of The Vault. We have a few quick announcements to kick off Season 2 and this new year. We are going to keep regular long-format episodes and move them to be released on the second and fourth Monday of each month. Thursday episodes will be our shorts, and they'll be released on the first and third Thursday of each month. We have so many topics and resources to share with you all, but some of these topics aren't long-format episodes, so we are creating the Thursday short segment to cover these topics in shorter format. Think 15 to 30 minutes worth of content, shorter episodes on specific topics, resources, and ideas. Be on the lookout for our new schedule of weekly content. We kicked off this season with blue and orange pantsuits, mini golfing at KOA, and riding a tandem bike. To ring in the new year and kick off Season 2 with this short episode, we thought it'd be fun to tell you a little story about how we met, why we started the podcast, and what we are excited for in Season 2.
The following is a Big Sky Economic Development production.
It's Marce
and Kavo,
and this is The Vault at 201 North Broadway,
a business podcast
where we bring you entrepreneurs, small business owners, and community leaders of Montana
to share their stories, expertise, industry insights, and strategies.
And we are sharing them all with you every single week.
You don't want to miss this.
Learn how to better start, manage, and grow your business
and your leadership style.
Tangible takeaways to save you time and improve whatever it is that you're working on.
You're listening to The Vault.
Thank you to Big Sky Economic Development for supporting The Vault at 201 North Broadway. Big Sky Economic Development provides leadership and resources for business creation, expansion, retention, new business recruitment, and community development. If you are starting a business, growing or expanding your business, diversifying your customer base, or maybe you're looking for business trainings to attend to continue to learn and grow, they're excited and here to help. Even if you're thinking of relocating your company into Billings, they're a resource for you. BSED also provides resources for community development initiatives by planning, partnering, and managing projects and administering grants for redevelopment and placemaking. Their workforce development program brings together industry and education partners to anticipate and respond to community workforce needs. And they provide talent attraction and retention resources for your business to use under the community brand Better Off in Billings. BSED's Rock 31 program is focused on helping startups thrive. And in their location in downtown Billings, they have 2 floors dedicated to co-working and additional spaces throughout their building open to the community to host their meetings, events, and trainings. Visit bigskyeconomicdevelopment.org. Again, that's bigskyeconomicdevelopment.org, or follow them on Facebook and LinkedIn. Okay, Kayla, we met a long time ago.
A hot minute, yeah. Probably, 8, 9 years? Well, yeah, 8 years ago.
8 years. I had a 10-year recently.
Yeah,
I think
it was.
High school, and then we met in 2016, I think. Or 15. 16.
I think it was 15. Is that when you did your...
No.
16? So then it was 2016. When did you start yours? So it was 2016.
When I started my internship.
God, that was the year I bought my house.
I know.
It was so long ago.
And now it's painted and renovated a little.
It looks much better.
So Kayla and I met. You guys are probably wondering, get to it, you two. So I was needing an internship. And I think we talked about this in Season 1, but I was needing an internship. I was working at my family's dental office, but needed an internship to graduate from college. And so I started interning at the Billings Chamber of Commerce in May or June of 2016, which was a ton of fun. Loved that internship that turned into part-time job my senior year and then full-time job after graduation. But one of their programs at the Chamber is Billings Next Gen, which is where Kayla and I really connected.
Yeah, that's where we started. We were at Cahoots.
Yeah.
You kind of got pushed into kind of running those Kahoot meetings.
I did. Pushed in was a nice, yeah.
Yeah, and I believe they still have them every Friday, 11 a.m. down at the Chamber. They have the Cahoots meeting. And what I really liked about it is how casual it was. And I was able to make some lifelong friends through it. And I think that is what really struck out to me. And one of the greatest pieces was my friendship with Marcell, and we connect every single day, which is awesome. It helps that we work together, but I'm sure we would connect every single day.
But we didn't before that. So, and we'll give you guys more details on Next Gen. We'll have them on and use them as another short episode. But I don't know what got you into Next Gen. So I was kind of like not forced, but like it was part of my job.
Yeah.
Which was great. Loved it. Definitely can't wait to talk to them and give you guys more information on Next Gen here in Billings, our young professional group. But what led you to join?
Well, gosh, so at the time I was working for AAA here in Billings, and they said, hey, you need to get out and network. And my background, as I've mentioned multiple times, is food industry, and so networking was such a foreign word to me. I didn't understand what it was, and had a coworker at the time who was like, you got to come to Next Gen. It's great. He had done a few different things like biz to biz, and he just felt like Next Gen was going to be more my speed, where I'm not one that wants to like push my business card on anybody. And so this one, nothing against that, I will state.
We're just not salesy roles.
We're not salesy people. And I was in a sales role, ironically, at AAA, but so that's what brought me to Next Gen. Is my company was literally like, you have to get out there and network and meet people. And I had just moved to Billings like a year before, so I really didn't have very many friends.
We were like newbies.
Yeah, we were newbies. Billings. You were kind of, other than being
college,
at Rocky,
yeah, different.
New to the professional world, right? And so even though like you were jumping out of school, and I had, I'm aging myself a few more years than you, out in the world, but didn't have business experience. So that's what brought me to Next Gen. And then from there, we ended up hanging out together with Allie with the Chamber.
Yes, at Visit Billings. Yeah, and the Chamber. Yeah.
And we will have her on. I always forget it's Visit Billings, but they're together.
Yeah, they're
like
under the same household.
Tomato, but it's not.
But she kind of, I think, introduced us because she knew Jeremy, and then introduced us, and then we really hit it off with our friend McCall, who we also met, and then some other people we met through there. But we really like hit it off, the three of us.
Yeah, we sure did.
McCall and I.
Yeah, and we just started doing like girls' nights, and we really bonded over our love of meats and cheeses.
We did. Food is a prominent thing,
and wine, and so we really bonded over that. And then also the one thing I would say that probably set us, what really kind of pushed us together a little bit more was the fact that we were all new in the business world. Because McCall too was pretty fresh out of college, and
worked for the Nile at the time.
Yeah, she was at the Nile, and so that was a whole progression for us of becoming young professionals and learning how to be carry ourselves in the professional world. And I think we just really thrived together. So I always say that's probably where we kind of bonded a bit more, is because we were trying to figure out how to do it.
What's life? And I think we met, and then it progressed because we'd see each other at Cahoots, and we'd see each other at Next Hour. You and I both, again, me more because of my position, but you because you just wanted to. We both were on the Next Gen leadership team together.
With McCall, too.
And McCall, all of us. So we would just see each other all the time.
We were constantly together. And we just, we just have similar personalities. And I think that's important. You find people that are like-minded individuals, and that those people really build you up. And then also, you just got to find bring around smarter people than you, and that's what I did. Is I found people that were smarter than me, and so I can learn from them.
But it was so fun. And then you and I volunteered. I think it was more like a second job for free to Revel, but we got to hang out a lot there too. So we, as friends, would just sign each other up for these community events or learning events or volunteer opportunities, and we're like, oh, at least we're doing it together. And it was such a fun community event. Really big lift, but fun.
It was a big lift, and we will never share the photos of before and after of me in that. No, because it really just killed me a little bit. Oh my gosh,
we look so different than we did.
Oh yeah. But you were always so good about that, and that was a big part of your role at the chamber, was being a part of.
Well, and
all
I was
the
at Big
different
Sky at
events.
that time.
Yes, and then you had made the transition over to Big Sky, and yeah, so you were constantly always like getting me out of my shell, because I would be that person that would just go home. Not that I don't value friendships, but I'm an extroverted introvert, and so like if I go home and I get my jammies on, like I'm in.
Well, you know me now.
So.
I
Yeah.
like get home and shower immediately. So then if Annie asks
be like,
of like
sorry.
wanting to go out and hang out, I'm like, I really can't. So we met, but then our time as friends like progressed. We met through Next Gen. We did this volunteer thing, but I switched over to Big Sky in like September of 2018. So I stayed with the chamber for a little bit.
And I remember because you know, had that whole application process, and I was like baffled about how long that interview was for you, and then you had to do a whole presentation and
on Fargo, North Dakota. If anyone ever needs information, got it. Got you. But so there was that, and then I get hired on, and I'm there for a while, maybe a half a year or a little, maybe about a year.
Well, you just celebrated 5 years
in September.
Yeah, so I'll celebrate 5 years in July.
Yeah. So I was about a year in. And we had a position come open at Big Sky.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I was like, Kayla, even though it wasn't, I think what it was good for you is getting in the door to then progress you into like the role you have now. It's just kind of that like get in position, which you rocked at. So then you joined the team. You joined the Big Sky team at the old building.
Yeah.
So we're both there.
Yeah.
And that completely different roles.
Yes, absolutely. Completely different roles than where we started. But I also say like just a huge... like kudos to you, because you're always, Marcell always looks out for her friends, and I always feel like she's always looking out for me. And not that I don't look out for Marcell, but she just is always in the know of things. And she knew that I was looking for some change and just needed some adjustment. She understood my passion for small business, knowing that I had owned mine. And so, yeah, you sent me a job listing, and you were like, I think this would be great for you. And although it was entry level for me, and I did take quite a step down from where I was, it led me to where I am today. And that is one of my, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate that. As you know, that was a great gift.
But I think you bring up a good piece to talk about, and I think we'll talk about it more in future episodes. But you took a step down to come to Big Sky to then really build your career. I came in at like an entry level.
Yeah, you did too. Didn't they like kind of create that role a little bit? That was a new position. It was the first time they hired it out.
5 different roles at Big Sky, people, in less than 5 years.
Can we give her? I'm going to give her a shout out, because 5 different roles, and now she's a senior director in our organization at 28 years old. I mean, that is awesome.
Thank you. But let's go back to you. So that's a big change for you to be like, hey, I'm gonna. And you had just bought a house, so you and you have a car, like you have these adult things, and adulting has been fascinating, but it's a fascinating
Don't recommend.
thing. No. Don't wish your time away, kids. But you have all these things, and you're like, this job is not like your previous one for me. Like it's not working. So you consciously made this decision, and you were like thinking long game, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say like I still have AAA today. I love AAA, their services and stuff. I'm just not a salesperson. And that was the hardest thing for me is I hate asking for that ask, and there are people that are really good about it, and I just am not. And that I accept that. I understand that. I did that for 4 years with them, and they gave me a lot of skills. I was a team lead over there, so I was managing other individuals. So I've got a lot of experience from that. So I would never wish that time away, but it just wasn't filling my cup. And at a point, I just needed to make a big change. And so it was, for me, it was okay to jump down to an entry-level job coming from a team lead job, because I needed to figure out where I wanted to go with it all. And I got to be a part of, so I was like half operations and then half SBDC, which is Small Business Development Center. And so I got to taste the, business building and helping people make their dreams come true. And even though I was a small fraction of a piece in that realm, it still was really fulfilling for me. So then, talking about progression at Big Sky, you filled 5 different roles. I was able to, during COVID, ironically, take on, COVID was a change for everyone. For me, it gave me the opportunity to take on a full-time business advisor role in the SBDC, which I was very upfront and honest with everybody when in my interview process that if that role ever did come about, I would actively go for it. And so it wasn't a surprise when that role did come about. They just kind of knew I was going to go pretty hard for it, so they just slid me into it.
Well, right, but it was like an internal promotion.
Correct,
right? Because you had the skill set, you were already working in it for a little bit, so you had like a progression here too, which is something I appreciate about Big Sky, is like cultivating our already existing talent to give them those opportunities and investing in professional development and other things. But and even since then it's changed, because now we used to do, the quota trainings. Yeah. But now we do. So Kayla leads she's like our training manager too. So she's leading all of our trainings for every single year for small businesses.
Yes. Yeah. I try to keep myself contained, but I get too excited about being able to bring content to small business owners. And there's always so much that business owners are needing to learn in just the best way. And we have so many amazing partners in the community that can facilitate those trainings. So I feel like I wouldn't be doing my role as a training manager justice if I didn't do that. So in one hand, I just fill my calendar, which you see because I add you to all my calendar invites. And now poor Caitlin gets to suffer along with it. But, I try to host probably over 40 different trainings a year, which is just, it's a haul, but it's so worth it because the right people are in the room and they're learning the right things to help their businesses be successful. And I think that's why this job is so perfect for me, is because that, although it's a haul, I love doing it. Like I don't have like a moment where I'm like, this is not for me. And so when I think back 5 years in July, 5 years from now, I have never regretted taking that step down to build myself back up, because it's where I am today and it's so fulfilling. And I wouldn't be able to say anything different. So, but for you, we've been talking so much about me, though, Marcell.
No, I know, but I want to keep on a couple more things for you because it's valuable I think, because we were in our 20s when this is all happening,
correct,
right?
Yeah.
And
I just hit the big 3-0.
I know, I'm not there yet. But you weren't even in that entry-level role very long.
No, I was in it for about a year, yeah.
And then it was like quick switch, and then the training got added. And I think just something on the training for those listening that are local into Montana and really in our Yellowstone County region area, you can come to those if you're thinking of starting a business. Absolutely. You have one, you're growing your business. So really small businesses, if I'm not mistaken, are categorically like 500 employees or less.
Yeah. For profit, 500 employees or less. So in the state of Montana, that's like 95%.
Everybody. So like your trainings are really applicable for people at a variety of stages, and you can find all of those trainings on our website, obviously at bigsky.economicdevelopment.org.
Absolutely. And I try to be, if I can record it and send it out later, I try to do that. Most of them are free. I say low cost, no cost. We're a free service, so we don't have a lot of income. And so when we have to pay a facilitator, that's when we have to kind of pass that cost down. But even then we try to make it pretty reasonable. So very rarely do we have, a training that's going to cost you hundreds of dollars. It just really depends. We do have one training, Profit Mastery, which is an amazing financial tool. We do have to charge about $250 for that, just because the binder that we have to buy is like
expensive,
most of that fund. And then we buy lunch both days. So like, at the end of the day, we're not making any money off of it,
Yeah, right. So we're not making money. They're really great value. You've owned a small business yourself. Mm-hmm. You've went through that growth within Big Sky, but you also are doing these trainings and getting certified and like all of these acronym things that I can't even keep up with. But I
love me an acronym.
It's like value for your clients that you're working with in those small businesses that are coming to our office needing help. You're constantly like growing your knowledge base to better help them, which I think is great.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's super important to, Lorene and I never say that we're experts in anything. We know a lot about a lot, but we don't know everything. And so we're not an expert in anything. We're not an expert in everything. Gosh, I should state that. But we know a lot of people, and if we can't answer it, we'll get you the answer. But we also like to continue with our professional development in all areas so we can be better of assistance to our clients. And so if there's, what we try to think is we have a conference every year, and if we continue to see a very familiar topic with our clients asking questions on something, we look at what those trainings are and see if we can attend those so we can come back better equipped to be able to help them. Or if we see an online training, or, Lorene spent like 2 days researching this new FinCEN Act that was just put through for small businesses. And that might actually be a short on its own, but, just to find out and better educate ourselves. So when we're talking to clients, they know that is something that they need to be aware of. And so we'll do that. We'll spend hours and hours trying to know the thing a little better so we can be better of assistance. But we love it. And so I think, at the end of the day, like, we look at each other and we're like, God, did we work today? And we got a lot done.
I just loved it.
But we just loved learning about it and talking to the people. So, when I look back, I didn't know this is where I was going to end up. But it is and people think I'm so weird because I love what I do. And I do. I love what I do. And, I just didn't know I was going to be here, nor did I know it was going to be a passion for me. So. No. I thought food was just my passion.
Well, we have food too. And I think so something about what you've just talked about and season 2 for the vault is this year, and just like last season, but this season, we're really hoping to bring you guys, all of our listeners and new listeners, more resources that are in a short format. So if you're in Montana, it's like smaller snippets of information that are really easy to listen to on maybe your drive to work, or if you're walking at the gym, or whatever it is that you're walking your kid outside, your dog, whatever you're doing, and bringing you some of these experts that Kayla's talking about, and just other people that are really doing unique and innovative things within their area of work that are experts, I would say, because of what they're doing, their trade, their craft, and bringing those back to you all through main episodes, so those more longer format episodes. And we've got some really great ones that we've recorded and that we have scheduled, and great stories that we hope that you guys will take away, and it'll inspire you to take that next thing, or maybe you just listen to that whole hour and there's something you really get out of that episode, is what really excites me for season 2.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would say that we were very strategic in planning what we wanted to share this season. And that's, we figured out what are the big things that we want to share. And then we figured out who could be the best to share that, right? Instead of, season 1 was amazing and we were so happy for it. But we reviewed it and we said, hey, we interviewed really cool people, but how can we interview cool people and still share good bits of information? And so then we got really strategic of like, what are kind of topics that we were seeing? You saw Marcell posting some questions, like, what are you looking to hear from us? So we can so we can come up with themes to better bring information to you. So I'm really excited. Season 2 is going to be awesome.
And we're doing all the legwork, which is great. We want to, we love it, but we're, taking these topics, these themes that are relevant and that we're seeing as maybe some trends in 2024, and bringing you those people that are doing and excelling and really making way in their industry, in their organization here locally in Montana.
Absolutely.
And we want to highlight that because we love local business.
Absolutely. And, word around the block is that there might even be giveaways this season. I'm just saying.
So watch out. And I think make sure you follow the vault _201 on Instagram. That's really our primary social account that we're using.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do a lot. And then, follow us on our individuals. So, Marce B406, and then there's Kavo 406. Follow us individually because we each have our own personality and likes and experiences and expertise that we share on there. So make sure that you're following us. But before we get any further, I do want Marcell to talk about her progression in Big Sky, because she started here, 23?
How old was I when I started at Big Sky? I can't remember. I think.
Well, you just turned 21, right? In 2016.
17.
So yeah, 2017.
No, was I? I don't know how old. Anyways, I was young when I started at Big Sky, and I think so. I had a job out of college that was from my internship, and I really am so thankful for that time at the chamber, because I think it really accelerated my growth in a very unique way.
You got to create a lot of relationships.
I did, and I got to meet a lot of people. I had no idea what a chamber was because I come from a really small eastern Montana town, and I think we have a chamber, but it's like volunteer, and it didn't really exist when I was growing up. But something that I valued a lot growing up in a small town that I think really comes to light working at Big Sky is that community involvement, that community engagement, and really being involved in the community you want to see in the future and being part of that. And growing up in a little town, I had that opportunity. I was able to do sports, extracurriculars, FCCLA, wasn't an FFA girl, but I got to do all of these, and I had really cool opportunities within those. And then so I go to college. I go to a smaller liberal arts college, Rocky Mountain College, where my classes were still pretty small. I really loved my time at Rocky. And then at the chamber, I'm getting to meet all of these people, all these business leaders, young professionals, and I'm still in college. I'm going to school full time. My senior year, I'm working part time, and I loved work because I was getting to do things like the NAI Women's National Basketball Championship. Oh, yeah. I was part of that through Visit Billings and helping with this big golf tournament and all these other big events that honestly, I learned a ton about event planning growing up a little bit, just by nature, class president, planning prom, all of those things. But when your class is of 9 people, you know what I mean? It's just different. But I learned a lot of those event skills and things like that at my time working under Jessica Hart, who was the events manager at the time when I was at the chamber. And we just had this really good team dynamic, and I learned a ton from her, so much on big scale events, because the chamber, again, at that time was doing their big egg banquet, chamber breakfast in the Metro Park Arena on the floor. So that is at 900 to 1,000 people at those events. They're huge. And so I learned a ton from her just on even coordination of vendors and all of those things that you learn. With the NAIA, I got to be more part of that on the Visit Billings tourism side. And then working a lot with Big Sky, the chamber and Big Sky work really well together. So seeing that all from different sides and perspectives as a young professional, not, graduating from college, it was insane. I'm this is energy, and it really solidified me wanting to stay in Billings and Montana. I think a lot of students that are graduating from high school and or graduating from college, they're I got to get out. I have
Grass
to go
isn't always
leave.
greener. Yeah.
And I didn't leave. I found that by the end, my opportunity really was to stay in Billings and to stay in Montana, close to family, obviously, is really important to me. But so that was unique. And then I was with them for about a year, and then I switched over to Big Sky and have had so many different roles, as you know. Yeah,
because you started as a marketing...
No, business outreach project manager. So I didn't even really have... I had marketing because of Next Gen and some of those programs I would help manage. And looking back, at high school, again, I'm coordinating these to high school because I think it's interesting to see those things that you gravitated towards when you were younger. I really liked yearbook, the newspaper. I was the editor my senior year of the yearbook, and it was the prettiest one, obviously. It was the most branded to the school, which with school colors. That's a different story. And now seeing what I do now, I'm oh, it makes sense. I loved that creative stuff. I loved graphic design class and, video and all of those things. But I didn't have a formal marketing degree. Yeah. So I started and we've since restructured, helping with our member investor program, our new business recruitment,
our Better Off in Billings
and
campaign. You helped build that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So getting to be part of that workforce development, and then more of the talent attraction and retention pieces, then transitioning more to just marketing and outreach, then more to full-time marketing of the organization. And then I hit a point after COVID, to marketing and really taking on Billings work. So our workforce development program, overseeing and facilitating a steering committee and workforce development initiatives, taking on our summer jobs program that we work, in conjunction with the Chamber and School District 2 and some other partner, American Jobs for America's Youth program. And talent attraction and retention, which is done through Better Off in Billings. So really taking marketing and Billings works was my next thing.
Yeah.
Taking those programs, working on them, and then transitioning a little bit later into my role now, which is different, more internal and external at the same time. So it's just been,
Yeah, so
a wild
senior
ride.
director of engagement.
Yes.
So it's really funny because earlier you mentioned you like the engagement piece of your internship and the things you were able to do in your youth. And so it's really funny that it kind of rounded right back to the senior development of engagement for our organization.
So it's just interesting, I think, looking and you too, I'm sure, have those connecting points of things you did when you were younger, areas you were interested in, and then how, if it works out well, you kind of end up doing some of those things. And I feel like I've gotten to really do that here at Big Sky and grow a lot. I've went to a ton of conferences just to learn and grow in different things like leadership development, marketing, talent attraction and retention, so that I can really be that expert for our community and talent attraction and retention. I can do be more expert on certain things internally with the organization. So it's been a wild ride. It's been fun.
It's been fun to be alongside you.
It's been challenging, though, in certain aspects, for sure. Different than, you think
growth
when you
is
graduate.
Crazy. Yeah.
And those people that I think taught you lessons, and I'm sure you have this too, that, were peers and helpful to your career growth, those mentors along the way that helped you, taught you things. Maybe you worked under them or they just mentored you in different ways that helped you. And then those people that weren't really rooting for you and kind of didn't want you to grow. I think that's the reality. And so you have that broad spectrum of, you have those people helping you along the way and those ones that are
trying to tear you down.
Yeah. Shoving you down the hill, but then you get back up and you go. And I think as much as we don't like those situations or those scenarios, they're really good learning opportunities of how you don't want to be and how you don't want to be treated.
Absolutely. Well, gosh, and it teaches you leadership. I mean, honestly, just qualities like that you see, you're like, I never want anybody to feel that way. And we both have had experiences where we're just like, that was not for me. And you just know how you want to treat people and, it's a learning experience. We could have a whole other short on that one.
Exactly. A lot on that. They could be a different short, maybe some of those red flags to see early on. And we were both so young, I think, when we've had some of those, and it's been such a fast, I think the past 5 years for me, and then you're coming up on 5, have went so quickly, and I've learned so much good and bad. So it's just been a fun, wild ride.
I can't tell if I just blinked or I'm blinking really slow, and that's why it feels like it was so fast. But yes, yeah. I mean, I sit here and I had to I did the math the other day because I was trying to figure out how long I owned my house, and I was like, dang, I'm coming up on 5 years with Big Sky, and coming up on 7 years of owning my home. So yeah, 8 years.
I think Austin told me when we were talking about this the other night, and I was like, he's like, the days, I was talking to him about work. I'm like, God, it feels like I've been here forever, but then at the same time not. And he's like, the days are long and the years are short.
Yes.
I'm like,
gosh,
yes.
When people, parents used to say that all the time. Or when you'd be like, I can't wait till grow up. I don't know if you were snotty like a kid like me.
Why did we wish our time away? I have
no idea. I was like, I wish I was 11 years old and the biggest thing I had to worry about is
my chore list.
Chore list or what new Brat doll's coming out. out, you know, like
what I'm doing today, what chores, what friends am I hanging out with.
Well, Mom let me go bowling on Saturday.
Exactly.
That is my thing.
We didn't have a bowling alley, so
so that was not a thing for you.
No.
You could have bowled in the fields.
We did do, I feel like we did prairie golfing once for a family reunion, but anyways, it's a separate.
I have a lot of questions about what that means.
We can chat about that later. Separate episode. So yeah, we now are in our roles at Big Sky, and 2 years ago, is fall of 2022, is really, I think, when we started talking about a podcast for the organization. Yeah. And we really took our time launching it because we didn't know what we were doing. And I think
do we now? I don't know.
I think we, after having a year under our belt, we have a stronger foundation and understanding of podcasts. But I think, like we were talking about earlier, we just really want to be a resource and highlighting those really great things going on in our community and those people doing great things in hopes to inspire, educate, and be a resource of really what's going on in the community and those, what are those positive, cool things. Absolutely. What are resources people can really use to like level up at whatever it is they're doing. Yeah. And then highlighting those people that you can connect with. Billings is such a connector. We've talked about it, but it's really like who you know. Absolutely. Is why we both have our jobs. I know Karen Miller. Karen Miller now.
Well, Karen Baumgart back in the day.
Baumgart Miller is, you know, I met her through Next Gen. And
yes.
And I reached out to her when I saw the job opening here. And then she was just really a great mentor.
The two of you were references for me.
I know, but and she was such a great mentor. I think I listed her as one too. I got to really know her Next Gen. And
shout out Karen.
She was so helpful in that process.
Absolutely.
Of like, just coming onto the organization. And then I worked a lot under her. And I think that's really, she was a big reason of helping me, you know, find that value and excitement in the talent attraction and retention work that we get to do.
Well, and I think it just brings it back to, we found like-minded individuals that could help build us up. And I think that is just, if you're going to take a piece out of this episode, that would be it, is you need to surround yourself with people that are looking out for you and like will send you a job posting or will be a reference for you or show you the positives in a new role you had to take on, you know, like,
and challenge you in new ways.
Yes, absolutely. Help you grow. And I think that is the biggest piece of information for us here.
I love how you said that. And I think thinking too, through both of our progressions, Lorene's been so great for you.
Oh, Lorene's my BFF.
But she's really helped you and, you know, given you those opportunities to say, yeah, we can really be more robust in our training. Here you go.
And she's like, go for it.
Do it. Yeah. And you have. And I think just having that person that believes in you is so key. I think for me, more that person here has probably been more of Steve, of giving me those projects, even though I maybe didn't know all of the things at the time, or I've had to figure certain things out along the way. But I think having someone believe in you, just you rise to the occasion.
Absolutely. You don't want to let them down.
Right. And you rise to the occasion, you do it, you figure it out, and then you move on to that next hard thing that they're, you know, there to help you with. But they're kind of letting you go.
They want you. It's kind of like this is a weird analogy, but I'm full of those.
I can't wait.
It's like a mama bird kicking you out of the nest. They know you're ready to fly, and so that's what they're doing, is they're pushing you towards an uncomfortability that they know that you're ready for, and that is what a true mentor, a good mentor, is going to do for you, is kind of
encourage
you to do things that are out of your comfort zone. Lorene, literally before I got my job, I took a class ironically through the Small Business Development Center. And the end of the class was doing a 3-minute pitch on your business that you worked the last 11 weeks on. And I am not, I'm very nervous public speaking. And you wouldn't think that, but it gives me a lot of anxiety.
I hate it too.
And anxiety's, real and healthy.
I think it's good, though. I think it's good that our bodies, we get nervous because we know it's important.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And I told Lorene the last session that I wasn't going to pitch, but I was going to come and support all of my fellow classmates and support them while they did their pitch. And she was like, okay. I'm sitting there in the crowd, and she calls my name. So this literally crowd of people are now expecting me to get up and give my pitch, and I was not ready. Like she knew I was ready, right? So even before she was my mentor,
She kind of was.
She did it, and because she knew, she was like, you can get up and talk about your business. So.
And you did.
Yeah, and that's what she does for me every day, is she pushes me to do things because she knows that I'm ready for them. And gosh, we could have a whole episode on how much I love Lorene. But
well, they're to encourage you, but they're to challenge you too, I think, when you
Yes.
need it. And,
Oh, yeah.
And, I think have those hard conversations with sometimes, but knowing like it's healthy and it's okay to have those. It's not to be disrespectful or.
Yeah, and questions are great.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad about asking questions.
So, Kayla, as we kind of wrap up this first short, what are you like most excited about for season 2 and anything else we should know?
Yeah, well, one, Maddie, our photographer, did an amazing photo shoot with us. So I have to say I'm very excited for us
for those too.
to start launching some of those photos. But the thing I'm most excited about would be the themes we were very deliberate about and sharing those with you. And we hope that you take as much out of them as we anticipate.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I'm excited.
How about
that
you?
Too. I think that what you just said, but I also think something like just adding more content. Of course, it's exciting for us. So now we'll be recording more and doing more, which is great. But I think giving those short episodes time too, little resources and smaller segments, shorter sound bites. I think just giving more content of value. I'm really excited to see where that goes. And the photo shoot was a ton of fun. And we did that as a branding shoot. And I think we'll talk about a branding shoot in the future and branding.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the importance
Branding's
of good photos.
Yeah.
Maddie was great. And we have some really fun ones.
Yes.
In our orange and blue suits. That we will probably, you'll see again after that, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You'll
Disco
start seeing 'em.
mushroom.
Yeah.
We record in a real monster vault, everyone listening, in our old bank building.
We should do a tour one day.
Yeah. The vault is from 1918.
Yeah.
Not kidding. They call it a monster vault in this bank building.
It's great.
So it's really fun.
It's
the
where
door
everybody
is
kept their secrets.
permanently propped open. So those of you wondering, you won't get locked in.
Yes.
But anyways, we hope that you follow us at the vault_201 on Instagram. We have a Facebook page as well, but really the Instagram is where you're going to find those giveaways, find those new episode drop information. You could go to the Vault, our website also, which is thevault@201.com. And that just has a little bit more about Kayla and I, all of our episodes, a sign up for our newsletter so you can really be the first to know any new things dropping before it hits social media. So we have that. You can follow us individually, as Kayla mentioned.
Yep. Kavo 406 and Marce B 406.
Yeah. I'm like, is that mine?
Well, it's Marce. Is it Marce B _406?
Marce B _406.
And I think I'm Kavo _406. So.
Yeah. And so those you'll just find like our accounts just to share like what's going on in Billings, things that, local things we're loving and all of those kinds of things.
Absolutely. Mine has a lot to do with food. So
if you want to know any food, any question, Kayla can answer it for you, whether it's what to do and not to do, what tool to use, etc. Kayla's got you covered.
Have a kitchen gadget problem.
Which is really fun. I can't wait for
the
next episode short. All right. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Make sure you are subscribed to The Vault at 201 North Broadway, wherever you podcast, including YouTube.
Connect with us on Facebook at The Vault at 201 North Broadway and Instagram at The Vault_201.
Don't forget to visit us at thevault@201.com and subscribe to our newsletter.
We will see you next time.
Bye. Thank you to the Small Business Development Center for sponsoring The Vault at 201 North Broadway. The Small Business Development Center offers free personalized support from business plans to financial projections and beyond, empowering small businesses to thrive. Reach out to us at bigsky economic development.org.